This is Concept E classes, and today we'll deal with part 2 of chapter 17 in class 8 science, stars and the solar system. So in part 1 we saw what are celestial objects. We studied about moon, the phases of moon and the surface of the moon. Then we also studied about stars and then about constellations, and we mainly discussed about 4 constellations: the Big Dipper, the Hunter, the Cassiopeia and Leo Major. Now in part 2 we'll deal with the solar system and some other members of the solar system like the asteroids, the comets, meteors and artificial satellites. So the first topic is the solar system. The sun and the celestial bodies which revolve around it form the solar system. So what all are the celestial bodies? It includes planets, comets, millions of asteroids and meteors. And the gravitational attraction between the sun and these objects keeps them revolving around it. So in short, we can say that the solar system is a gravitationally bound system of the sun and these objects like planets, comets or asteroids that orbit the sun. Now let's discuss some of the members of the solar family. So the first one is the sun. The sun is the star at the center of the solar system and it is the nearest star from the earth. It continuously emits huge amounts of heat and light. It is actually a ball of gas which consists of about 92.1% of hydrogen and 7.8% of helium. Now the sun is the source of all energy on earth. In fact, the sun is the main source of heat and light for all the planets. Now let's see about planets. Now planets is broadly defined as any relatively large natural body that revolves in an orbit around the sun or some other stars. Now we know there are 8 planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Till 2006 there was 9 planets in the solar system and Pluto was the farthest planet from the sun. But in 2006 the International Astronomical Union, they adopted a new definition of planet and Pluto does not fit this definition. So it is no longer a planet of the solar system. Now this planet, they look like stars but they do not have their own light. They are non-luminous objects. They merely reflect the sunlight that falls upon them. Now the simplest method to identify planets from stars is that stars twinkle whereas planets do not. See, you can see the difference here. So in this image as well, we can see that the planets, they have different colors. For example, the Saturn, it shows a gold color. Mercury, it is grey in color. Jupiter is orange in color. So planets do not twinkle whereas stars twinkle. And another difference is that the planets, they keep changing their position with respect to the stars. Now the planets, they have a definite path in which they revolve around the sun and that path is called as an orbit. Now the time taken by a planet to complete one revolution around the sun is called as its period of revolution. Now what do you mean by revolution? Revolution means it is a movement of one object around another object. Now the period of revolution, it increases as the distance of the planet increases from the sun. That is, the period of revolution of Mercury would be small as compared to that of Mars. Now besides revolving around the sun, the planet, it also rotates on its own axis as a top. Okay, see the Earth, we can see that it rotates on its own axis and the time taken by a planet to complete one rotation is called as its period of rotation. Now the Earth takes 1 year to complete one revolution around the sun. Hence its period of revolution is 365 days. And the time taken by Earth to complete one rotation around the sun is 1 day, that is 24 hours. Hence the period of rotation is 1 day. The next member of our solar family is the satellite. Now some planets are known to have moons or satellites revolving around them. Now the definition of satellite is any celestial body revolving around another celestial body is called as its satellite. Any celestial body revolving around another celestial body is called as its satellite. For example, Moon. Moon is a satellite of the Earth. So these all are natural satellites. Now there are many man-made satellites which revolve around the Earth as well. And these man-made satellites are called as artificial satellites. We learn more about artificial satellites in the following slides. So let's now discuss each of these planets briefly. So here we can observe we have 8 planets, and this is the axis of rotation, how they rotate, and we can see that the rotation direction also, some of the planets is from east to west, some is from west to east. So let's discuss each of these planets briefly. So the first planet is Mercury. Now Mercury, also known as Budh, is the nearest planet to the Sun, and it is the smallest planet of our solar system. As Mercury is very close to the Sun, it is very difficult to observe it, as most of the time it is hidden in the glare of the Sun. However, it can be observed just before sunrise or just after sunset near the horizon. Now Mercury, it has no satellite of its own. The next planet is Venus. Now Venus, also known as Shukra, is the Earth's nearest planetary neighbor, and it is the brightest planet in the night sky. Sometimes Venus appears in the eastern sky before the sunrise, sometimes in the western sky just after the sunset. Therefore, Venus is often called as the morning or the evening star, although it's not a star. Now Venus, it has no moon or satellite, and the rotation of Venus on its axis is from east to west, while that of Earth is from west to east. Now if you observe Venus through a telescope, we can see that the Venus also shows phases just like that of the Moon. The next planet is our Earth, Prithvi or Earth. It is the only planet in the solar system in which the life is known to exist, and some special environmental conditions are responsible for the existence and continuation of life on the Earth. And some of these conditions include the right temperature on Earth. That is, Earth is at the right distance from the Sun. It's neither too close nor too far from the Sun. Hence, its temperature is optimum for life. Second is the presence of water. Thirdly, we have a suitable atmosphere. And fourth is the blanket of ozone. Now, the Earth appears to be blue-green from space due to the reflection of light from the water and the land mass on its surface. Now the axis of rotation of the Earth is not perpendicular to the plane of its orbit. Now we have already studied about equator, and the plane of equator is called as the equatorial plane, and the plane in which the Earth revolves around the Sun is called as the orbital plane. Now these two planes are inclined to each other at an angle of 23.5 degree. This means that the axis of Earth is inclined to its orbital plane at an axis of 66.5 degree. Now this tilt is responsible for the change of seasons in the Earth. We know that the Earth, it rotates on its own axis, and it takes one day to complete one rotation, and it revolves around the Sun, and it takes 1 year to complete one revolution. Now throughout this year, different parts of the Earth, it receives the Sun's most direct rays, and this tilt always remains a constant. Now if the northern pole tilt towards the Sun, then it is summer in the northern hemisphere. Now when the south pole tilt towards the Sun, then it is winter in the northern hemisphere. Hence we can say that the seasons change due to the change in the position of the Earth around the Sun. If you want to know more about this, message me in the comment section. I'll give you a detailed lecture about this. Now, the next planet, the first outside the orbit of the Earth, is Mangal, and it is called as a red planet as it appears slightly reddish in color. The Mars have two small natural satellites, moons, and other than natural satellites, it has many artificial satellites. One such satellite is Mangalyaan. ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, it launched its first Mars orbiter mission called as Mangalyaan on November 5th, 2013, and it was successfully placed into an orbit of Mars on September 24th, 2014. With this, India became the first country in the world to do so in the first attempt. Next planet is Jupiter. Now Jupiter or Brihaspati is the largest planet of our solar system. It's so large that about 1,300 Earths can be placed inside this giant planet. However, the mass of Jupiter is about 318 times that of our Earth, and it rotates very rapidly along on its axis. It has a large number of satellites, and it also have faint rings around it. Now, we can easily recognize Jupiter as it appears quite bright in the sky. And if you observe it through a telescope, we can also see the 4 of its large moons. Now, beyond Jupiter, we have Saturn, which appears yellowish in color. It is also called as Sheni. And what makes Saturn unique in the solar system is its beautiful rings. But these rings are not visible with a naked eye, but we can observe them with a small telescope. Now Saturn also have a large number of satellites, and one of the interesting thing about Saturn is that it is least dense among all the planets. Its density is less than that of water. The next planet is Uranus. It is the outermost planet of the solar system, and it can be seen only with the help of large telescopes. Uranus also rotates from east to west, and the most remarkable feature of Uranus is that it has a highly tilted rotational axis. If Earth has a tilt of about 23 degree, Uranus have a tilt of about 97 degree. As a result, in its orbital motion, it appears to roll on its side. The last planet is Neptune. It is also the outermost planet of the solar system, and it can be seen only with the help of large telescopes. Now the first 4 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, they are very nearer to the Sun than the other 4 planets. Hence they are called as inner planets, and all inner planets, they have very few moons. Now the planets which are far off than the inner planets, namely Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune, they are called as outer planets, and they have a ring system around them, and the outer planets, they have large number of moons as well. So the inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. Outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Now other than the planets and the Sun, we have some other members in the solar system as well. Some of these members include asteroids, comets, meteors, meteorites and artificial satellites. Now let's discuss each of these members briefly as well. So first let's see what are asteroids. Now there is a large gap in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. And this gap is actually occupied by a large number of small rocky and metallic objects called as asteroids. The asteroids are also called as minor planets, and they revolve around the Sun. So this gap is also called as asteroid belt, and a majority of the non-asteroids are within this asteroid belt. And we are able to see these asteroids with the help of large telescopes. The comets are also the member of our solar system, and they revolve around the Sun in highly elliptical orbits. However, the period of revolution around the Sun is usually very long. That is, it takes a number of years for them to complete one revolution around the Sun. Now, the comet, it has a bright head with a long tail. Actually, the comet is an icy small solar system body that when passes close to the Sun, it warms and it begins to release gases. And this produces a visible atmosphere that we generally call as a tail. Now, the length of the tail, it grows in size as it approaches the Sun. And the tail of comet is always directed away from the Sun. Now one example of a comet is the Halley's comet. This comet, it appears after nearly every 76 years, and it was last seen in 1986. Now let's see what are meteors and meteorites. Now at night when the sky is clear and the moon is not there, you might have observed bright streak of light in the sky. They are commonly known as shooting stars, but they are actually meteors. So meteor is usually a small object or a piece of dust or debris from space that occasionally enter into the Earth's atmosphere, and at that time it has a very high speed, and the friction due to the Earth's atmosphere heats it up and it glows and it evaporates quickly. That is why this bright streak of light, it lasts only for a very short time. But some meteors might be very large so that they can reach the Earth before they evaporate completely, and the body that reaches the Earth is called as a meteorite. And the meteorites, they help the scientists in investigating the nature of the material from which the solar system was formed. Now there is another concept called as a meteor shower. When the Earth crosses the tail of a comet, many large number of meteors are seen, and these are known as the meteor showers. And some meteor showers, they occur at regular intervals each year. Artificial satellites. We have already studied that any celestial body which revolves around another celestial body are called as satellites, and there are natural satellites and artificial satellites. So artificial satellites are man-made. They are launched from the Earth and they revolve around the Earth much closer than the moon. India have built and launched several artificial satellites like Aryabhatta, which was the first Indian satellite, then some other satellites like INSAT, IRS, Kalpana 1, EduSat, etc. And these artificial satellites, they have many practical applications as well, like forecasting weather, transmitting television and radio signals, used for telecommunication, and also used for remote sensing. So that's all for chapter 17, Stars in the Solar System. The next session will be the question and answers of this chapter. Tune in soon for the next session. Thank you so much. May God bless you all. Take care and bye-bye.